one other question, but I want to follow up on Katie's question, actually. You said the mass deportation campaign would continue, but she asked about the flights specifically. Will those flights to El Salvador continue while this case is being appealed?
We don't have any flights planned specifically, but we will continue with the mass deportations. And I would just like to point out that the judge in this case is essentially trying to say that the president doesn't have the executive authority to deport foreign terrorists from our American soil. That is an egregious abuse of the bench. This judge does not have that authority. It is the opinion of this White House and of this administration, and that's why we're fighting this in court. And it's very, very clear that this is an activist judge who is trying to usurp the president's authority. Under the Alien Enemies Act, the president has this power, and that's why this deportation campaign has continued. And this judge, Judge Boasberg, is a Democrat activist. He was appointed by Barack Obama. His wife has donated more than $10,000 to Democrats, and he has consistently shown his disdain for this president and his policies, and it's unacceptable.
You're right where I wanted to go about the idea that these people are all foreign terrorists, but Judge Boasberg was originally appointed by George W. Bush and then elevated by Barack Obama. I just feel like I should clear that up.
This is leading people to wonder whether there are court orders that you will defy because you believe that the judge has no jurisdiction or they're political questions and not justiciable at all. And what would you say to that? Are there circumstances where you would defy a court order?
Well, I think that, number one, nobody's been through more courts than I have. I think nobody knows the courts any better than I have. I would say the chief judge does, but nobody knows them better than I have. And what they've done to me, I've had the worst judges. I've had crooked judges.
The judge, in the first instance, can hold the government in civil contempt. He can find against them in the case. He can penalize them by saying, I'm going to rule against you or draw an inference against you in the case. He can, in the most extreme case, refer for criminal contempt, although that would have to be prosecuted by the government.
Will your family's life improve because our military bases become prison camps for immigrants? When Medicaid covers nearly half of the births in our state, 2/3 of all seniors in nursing homes, 40% of children, will your family's life improve because they gut Medicaid? No! See, part of the shame of this useless spiral into chaos and revenge is that we really face so many urgent challenges. And there are so many problems that we can solve. Our prisons are full of violence and abuse. Women die needlessly from pregnancy and childbirth, especially here in Georgia. Hospitals continue to close. Seniors can't afford glasses and hearing aids because Medicare won't cover them. Veterans can't get VA coverage for dental care. Families live paycheck to paycheck. The federal debt keeps growing, but top earners wind up paying less than firefighters and public school teachers. Now, look, I'm not saying these problems are cheap and easy to solve, but we could solve them. And we must solve them. And none of this is on the administration's agenda. They just do not care. They do not care. Trump's cabinet is worth like $60 billion. That's not even including Elon. They are literally the elites they pretend to hate. The president is not at his palace in Florida thinking about whether you can afford daycare for your daughter, or how to stop insurance companies from denying your claim, or anything that matters to our daily lives. When is the last time you even heard Donald Trump talk about health care or child care? He's talking about invading Greenland. He's handing your data over to Elon Musk. By the way, I'm all for government efficiency. And government programs aren't sacred, they have to work. But when you randomly fire tens of thousands of people, no matter what role they fill, no matter how well they're performing, and then you have to scramble to fire them back because you accidentally fired the people who run the Veterans Crisis Line, and you accidentally fired the people who watch out for Ebola at the CDC, and you accidentally fired the people who fight bird flu on our poultry farms, and the people who protect our nuclear weapons. When you shut down research into Alzheimer's treatments and cures for childhood cancer, that's not efficiency. That's just cruelty and chaos. See, and then on top of the chaos, you have the corruption. It was just reported that dinner with the president at Mar-a-Lago is on sale for just $5 million. And really, the whole royal family is cashing in. Don Jr. is setting up a new business empire. Jared's investment firm got $2 billion from the Saudi royal family.
Donald Trump's obsession with dismantling the judiciary isn't just alarming, it's a full-blown meltdown. Every day he's out here violating court orders, demanding judges be impeached, and whining about activist rulings like a toddler denied candy. But let's be real. His tantrums aren't about justice. They're about erasing any barrier to his power. Remember when he promised to be a dictator on day one? This is him laying the groundwork. And the wildest part? He's terrible at covering his tracks. The man lies like he breathes, but his art of the deal shtick can't hide the fact that he's all bluster, no brains. When even his own administration gets caught lying about a judge's appointment, twice, you know this isn't strategy. It's desperation. Did you like this video? If so, would you consider leaving a like and subscribing to our channel? Speaking of lies, let's unpack Trump's latest conspiracy theory. Judge Boasberg is somehow corrupt because he checks notes. Stood near Doug Emhoff at a Shakespeare event? Seriously? Since when did taking a photo become a federal crime? Meanwhile, Trump's Supreme Court picks are cozying up to insurrectionists and billionaires, but no, that's not a conflict of interest. The hypocrisy is almost impressive. They tried painting Boasberg as some Obama radical, but oops, he was originally a Bush appointee. Classic Trump. When the law isn't on your side, just scream witch hunt and hope the MAGA base doesn't Google. Spoiler, they won't. Here's the playbook. Flood the zone with chaos. Attack institutions. Gaslight the public. Trump knows he can't win in court, so he's waging war in the court of public opinion. Deporting foreign terrorists? Please. He's rounding up lawful residents, denying due process and calling it patriotism. And when judges rightfully slap him down, he cries, deep state. Meanwhile, his cronies are firing scientists, gutting healthcare, and turning military bases into ICE camps. Efficiency? Nah. This is cruelty masked as policy. But hey, at least Jared Kushner got $2 billion from Saudi Arabia. Priorities, right? Let's talk about the grift. Because of course there's a grift. While Trump rails against elites, his cabinet's net worth could fund a small country. Mar-a-Lago dinners? A cool $5 million a plate. Don Jr.'s business empire? More like a money laundering fanfic. And let's not forget Ivanka's Chinese trademarks mid-presidency. But sure, Judge Boasberg is the corrupt one. The projection here is Olympic level. These people aren't draining the swamp. They're selling it timeshares. And the kicker? They're terrible at hiding it. Trump's legal team couldn't find subtlety if it bit them. The antidote to this circus? Call it out. Like John Oaf said, focus on solutions, not just scandals. Healthcare, childcare, jobs. Things Trump hasn't mentioned since 2016. Democrats need to hammer the contrast, chaos versus competence, corruption versus accountability. Every time Trump attacks a judge, counter with, why won't he lower your drug costs? When he whines about persecution, ask, where's the infrastructure plan? The guy's a one-trick pony. All grievance, no vision. Expose the con, mock the absurdity. And for God's sake, keep it funny, because if we're not laughing, we're crying. and he's counting on both. If you enjoyed watching the video, would you like to support us by leaving a like and subscribing?